What's good, everybody? How's everybody doing? Everybody's chilling. I hope everyone is having a great time. Did you hear what's going on? What is happening? What is going? Today we're gonna have a great day. We're talking a lot of off-season moves. The combine just happened. I talked about the combine a little bit last week, but Caleb was not here. We would love to have his thoughts on the combine as well. So we'll give his little short,
Many thoughts.
huh?
It's not too many thoughts.
Too many thoughts. All right, we'll talk about your many thoughts in a bit.
No,
But
it's not
also,
too many thoughts. That's why it wouldn't have been that interesting.
okay, all right, that's true. But I did talk about it, and I did highlight some players that I really liked when I was watching the combine. You know, a lot of big winners. I talked about it last week, like Landon Jackson out of Arkansas. Um, the old Miss boys and the Texas A&M boys. They shot up. They're very athletic, very long, raw material. You need a good defensive coordinator to elevate them. We're talking about Shamar Stewart, Nick Scouston, and then the old Miss Cats of I think Walter Nolan and a couple of their other defensive tackle and some other stuff. We'll see about that. So we'll do about that. Shout out to Reg. Reg is in the chat. Shout out to you, Reg. What's up? What's up? But also to running backs was a deep. I missed the running back QB wide receiver sections. I did. I missed that because I had to go to work.
How did you miss that day?
I was. I don't know. I think I just forgot. Forgot to watch them. I should have watched them.
Yeah,
Will Howard.
running backs were fast. There were a lot of
This
fast running
is
backs.
this year. This year, there's about this running back class is about 10 deep. It's 10 deep. This is the year where last year is the year you don't pay your running back because you can just draft his replacement this year. And then people talk about like why do running backs not get paid? This is why. Because every year a group of 5 to 6 running backs, 7 running backs, you can draft and replace your current running back. It happens all the time. What's up, Adelia? Because back in the day, Caleb, running back was the premier position. You played running back, you played quarterback. And Pop Warner, where were the best players always?
Well, because we didn't throw the ball a lot in Pop Warner.
Exactly. You didn't throw the ball a lot. So all the best players played running back. All the best players played quarterback. Also, too, like in the NFL, the running back was the premier position. Walter Payton, Barry Sanders, Jim Brown, Emmett Smith, Curtis Martin, back in the day. Eric Dickerson, you name it, John Riggins, you name it. They were at Marcus Allen, just Franco Harris. You knew the running back. The running back was the heart of the team. So over generations, the best players gravitated to playing running back. It just be like that sometimes. And unfortunately, the market dictates that's what happens. But I focused on the defensive end, especially the field drills. Those big men were running. They were running, and I've been focused on defensive tackle more often because we need a defensive tackle to help alleviate the pain and suffering that Dexter Lawrence goes through, so he doesn't have to get triple teamed or like actually having a.
How do you need a defensive tackle? You have one of the best defensive tackle in the league, and you need a defensive tackle.
No, because we need to help him. We need to give him some help. You think Aaron Donald didn't have a good defensive tackle near him? The man played with Michael Brockers for 8 years. Michael Brockers was a pretty good defensive tackle.
Decent. He wasn't anything.
But he was good. I'm not saying great. I'm saying a good defensive tackle. A good defensive tackle unlocks a lot of things because you can't fully focus on the other defensive tackle. You need to, also too, he can play nose tackle, right? So he's a nose. You have 2 defensive tackles near him. And, it's just, I was looking at them. I had a bunch of names, but I forgot them because it's been a week. I talked about it last week. I talked about them last week. Watch last week's video. Hit like and hit subscribe. So I talked about them last week. But Caleb, let's talk about the combine. Your quick thoughts, so then we can move on to the money moves the Dallas Cowboys are making. So your quick combine thoughts. Shout out to Leo.
Like I said, the running
Leo.
back,
I'll see you in April, Leo.
the running backs definitely shined in this one. That's a position that the Cowboys are definitely looking at. First round, second round. Top of the draft with our first 2 picks because obviously we don't have any. We don't have any on the roster right now. So that's one I looked at the most. Obviously, we didn't see Ashton Genty, which is the favorite right now to go to the Cowboys.
He's going to 10. He's going to Chicago.
Well, he's the favorite in the odds.
Yeah, because yours are 12, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so 10 and 12 is where he's gonna go.
So he didn't go out there. He didn't do drills, or really ran or any did anything. But we saw some other guys that looked really good. Obviously, I think Judkins from Ohio State uh, really shined just for the fact that he is as big as he is, and he ran as well as he did. I thought he really showed out, because you can compare him to his teammate and Trevion Henderson, who's like 20 pounds or like 25 pounds lighter,
Yes.
and he ran maybe just a 0.05 seconds faster. Like they were basically the same speed, but he's way bigger than Trevion Henderson. So I think that can really show with the running backs. Um, and then obviously Matthew Golden with the fastest time. Uh,
Texas boy.
Seeing him a lot in Texas, but it just wasn't a guy who I thought was going to run that fast because that wasn't really his role. I mean, Isaiah Bond was the speed guy on Texas. He played you know, that fast, get the ball to him and he's going to take it type of player. And uh, Golden was more the clutch guy. He was making the plays and making the clutch catches when we really when we really needed a catch to make. That's the kind of type of receiver that I thought he was, but so I did not see that type of speed when just watching him during the games. I always thought it was Isaiah Bond, which he talked all that stuff that he was going to run the fastest, and he definitely got dusted by his teammate. So yeah, so that was very very surprising to see that. And another guy who probably on the not so good side. What's the guy that's really small? I thought I just lost his name. He's a smaller receiver. In a nice story, can't remember.
School?
What's that?
What's the school?
I can't remember. Damn it! I wish I can remember his name. Starts with a T.
The
Uh,
school or him?
his name. His name.
T.
Uh,
The only person I know that starts with T as a wide receiver is T Mac, but he's 604.
no, no, not him. Yeah, I can't remember the name.
Okay.
Um, but he was like a Tez Johnson. That's what his name.
Oh, Tez Johnson. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The Oregon kid. He ran a 4.5, a 4.5. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was a little slow for his size.
Yeah, because he's
He's
about
150 pounds, and he's
yeah.
going to need to run a lot faster than that to get away from taking some punishment
Mm-hmm.
if you're going to be a receiver at that size. Um, and even in the drills, he wasn't catching the ball well. Like he was kind of
Yeah.
dropping some balls there. So I don't think he had a great day. He might have heard some of his draft stock going into the draft after the combine. And
Yeah, he was Oregon's second receiver, third or second receiver because Oregon's number one receiver is Evan Stewart. And I
mhm.
think that's the reason where Oregon's offense kind of failed is Evan Stewart got hurt late in the year. He didn't play against Penn State. He didn't play in the Ohio State game. So Oregon's offense unlocks with Evan Stewart. Evan Stewart was the number one wide receiver coming out of high school. He went to Texas A&M for a year, realized don't want to play for this joke of a program, leaves, and then goes to Oregon, and he balls out his year in Oregon. He either got hurt towards the end, and then Oregon has a new wide receiver coming in, Decorian Moore. Watch them too, Evan Stewart and Decorian Moore in a couple of years. They're big hopes for the Oregon Ducks.
And
Continue.
as for the quarterbacks, I guess obviously there wasn't very many that even ran the 40. Obviously, I really need to.
What's the
It's,
point?
a lot of it is based on tape, but
Mm-hmm.
you probably didn't. I forgot like Shador Sanders. He probably didn't want to because I don't think he wanted to show that he was going to run
Not,
slow.
yeah,
So I mean, that's basically why you don't run the 40. Like a
yeah.
Cam Scattaboo, he knew he was going to run slow, so he didn't run the 40. Same with Shador Sanders. Obviously, you're going to run out your pro day, so everything is going towards your way, so you
Mm-hmm.
can look appear fast. But a guy who did run fast was like Brady Cook, um, who I thought had a good day. Threw the ball really well. I think he shined amongst the quarterbacks and maybe helped them bump his draft stock a little bit. So that was a guy that showed out through the quarterbacks. As far as the other ones, not a lot to see. I mean, a lot you can see on tape with the quarterbacks. I mean, combine's not going to really do that much for you. Um, but I guess it's just they want to see how you look throwing the ball. But we've seen a lot of quarterbacks look good and not really do
They're
much.
like they're throwing against air.
Yeah.
Like here's the thing too. Like here's the thing that pisses me off about combine and pro days about quarterbacks. They're just completely stupid. They're
Although
throwing it.
CJ Stroud, when I did watch him, I thought was very impressed when I watched
No,
his.
no, no, no. You're right. Me, I was always impressed by CJ Stroud. I always knew he was going to be the best. He was 1 and 2 with him.
Yeah, I
I
didn't know
pers-
that. I
I
didn't watch
did.
him a lot, and
You
I
know,
just saw
okay,
his
that's why.
combine. I
That's
just
why.
purely went out the combine. I was like, damn, that guy can throw the
Yeah,
ball.
yeah. Me. So like, if you watched Ohio State, I watched a lot of Ohio State during CJ's years. I to this day say if Marvin Harrison, if Georgia doesn't injure Marvin Harrison Jr., they don't injure him. Georgia's not in the national title game. They're not. Ohio State beats Georgia. I guarantee. I stamp on my guarantee it because Keely Ringo couldn't stop Marvin Harrison, and then they doubled him and they still couldn't stop him. He was cooking them, and it would have been TCU Ohio State. Imagine that national title. That would have been weird. But and then we got Georgia just curb stomping TCU, which kind of was bad, but it is what it is. But yeah, Marvin Harrison and CJ Stroud were like a deadly connection. They lost to Oregon earlier in the year. I remember that year, but he had a bad year, but they showed the mental fortitude of him, and he kept growing, and he was great. He was him Bryce were like always neck and neck for me. They were always neck and neck for me. But yeah, the combine to me does absolutely nothing for a QB's draft stack but one way, and that's down. If you can't complete passes against air, why the hell would I draft you? Will Howard. You want to talk about a QB who probably wants to shouldn't have thrown at the combine. That does a bad thing for your stock because people are gonna look like, bro, like, ain't nobody guarding your receiver. No one's guarding you. No one's rushing you, and you can't complete a pass. That the combine and the pro day, like Caleb, Zach Wilson threw the ball 70 yards at his pro day, and everyone's like, he's the number 2 quarterback in this draft. Why? Because he threw 70 yards at his pro day, no rush, receivers not guarded, and he just threw it straight. He's the second best QB in the draft. That's how I know you guys are not very good at your jobs. So don't be talking to us like we don't know what we're talking about when y'all don't even know what you're doing. So like, watch the tape. QBs, I don't know why QBs go through this process. Just watch the tape. Just watch the tape, how they operate. If you watch the tape against Georgia with CJ Stroud, you knew he was going to be an NFL quarterback. You just knew it. He had the minerals. He just knew it. This like three quarterbacks ran the 40. I'm Brady Cook. I ran a 4.5 40. Oh, good for you, Brady Cook. You weren't that good at Missouri.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It does, at least it helps him. That can help him.
Yeah. And at Missouri, 2 years ago when Missouri was good and they beat Ohio State in the Sugar Bowl, you know why they were good? His name was Cody Schrader, their running back, who's now the running back in San Francisco. He's like running back 3. Him and Luther Burden are the keys to that offense. Brady Cook is just there for the ride. You know what I mean? So like Tyler Shoot, the QB out of Louisville, he's the same age as Trevor Lawrence, Caleb.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence is going into his 5th year in the NFL.
Well,
5th
that's
year.
like a lot of these guys nowadays.
Yeah.
They've all had the 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, COVID really threw everything off. And honestly, if they go through the law that Diego Pavon wants, he's the QB out of Vanderbilt, where he filed like he doesn't want junior Pavia. Yeah, Pavia. He said you shouldn't count junior college years for, Division I years, right? So imagine going to
So
junior
Division
college.
2 doesn't like junior college doesn't. Does junior college count?
That they count now, but Diego doesn't want them to count. So he filed a motion to make them not count. And he's kind of, it's gonna go his way, but we don't know yet. It's
I
the
mean, I can see that.
because it's junior
I can
college, it's
see.
not it's junior
Yeah.
college, right? It's
I
not
mean, then
Division One football. It's junior college, so the 2 years shouldn't be betted against. So no, but now imagine.
yeah. I mean, I guess. I mean, yeah. Because I mean, if you're not in the NCAA, does the NCAA rules count?
See, that's the point he's making right there. I'm in junior college. It's the junior college rules. It's so now imagine these people. They're 2 years at junior college, and they spend 4 years at the university. So there's 6 years in college before, and so they're gonna be drafted at the age of, they do at 18, 24, 24, which isn't that crazy, right? Like 24, it's
I
not that
mean,
crazy.
with quarterbacks last until they're 40. I mean,
Yeah,
that's not bad.
yeah. So you get drafted at 24 or 25, right? You play 15 years, you're 40. That's not that bad.
No.
So Diego may have a point. All right, I may be on Diego's side now. I may be on
And it's
Diego's
probably
side.
better. I mean, quarterbacks really do need time to develop.
Yeah, yeah. But then you have the freaks who are ready like right away. But that's a generation. That's Andrew Luck. You know what I mean? That's Andrew Luck. Where he walks into freshman year at Stanford, he's like, I'm ready. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like Cam Newton. I'm ready. You know what I mean? Yeah, like, yeah. So like the freaks. But yeah, I hate QB conversations after the combine. I hate them because they're like, look how he threw against air. Look how he hit that post route. Yeah, there. Patrick Surtain isn't guarding his receiver.
Yeah.
Now throw a post route while Patrick Surtain is guarding you, and Bradley Chubb is rushing the ball. Are you still gonna hit that post route? Are you? Maybe not. So it's whatever, man. All right, Caleb. Money moves, Caleb. Money moves. The Dallas Cowboys making some money moves in the offseason. First off, let's start with some good news. You guys signed Osi Odigizua to a big deal. 4 years, 80 million, 58 million guaranteed. Yay or nay, was it good?
I like it because it doesn't cost that much against the cap. I don't think, yeah, I don't think it takes that much of a hit towards the money. I mean, he's getting paid a lot. But if we were thinking about putting him on the franchise tag, I think obviously that would have counted more towards the cap. So at least we, can obviously, like we just do with all these other players, restructure them later on. So
We'll
it's
talk about that
probably
in a minute as well.
this is probably not going to be the contract he's going to keep through that out that whole 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I'm not really too worried about that. It's just I don't I guess they see a projection on him that his production has gone up. His sack, his pressure percentage has gone up every single year, and he seems to be getting better. So I guess that they project him to keep getting better and can increase that production that he's had. Also, I think it's because of the new defensive coordinator and Matt Eberflus. His
Mm-hmm.
defense relies on the three technique getting pressure. You know, that's a big proponent of his defense, and this is our three technique that can get a lot of pressure. So I think that he was a big influencer on whether they should sign Odigizua to this contract. Um, and he's a good player, but the problem I don't know. It's the same kind of thing that we've seen a lot through through the years with the Cowboys is signing great money to good players and then it not working out because we make bad deals and it bites us in the ass in the end. And maybe that's the same thing here. And it's just maybe because I don't think he's a great player, and we're going to be paying a lot of money to him. And he's just, he's just good. He's a good, solid player, but it doesn't help really the run game still because he's not great in the run. Like I said, he's more of a he's a three technique pressure, used to tackle. And we've had problems with the run when he's in there. Obviously, because we don't have a real good one technique to help him out. So I think that's our biggest issue is getting that one technique solidified more than we can get a pressure defensive tackle. But it helps. Obviously, if we didn't sign him, then we would basically have nobody in the front line there.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of necessary, but I just feel like it's just kind of the same cycle we've been going through of just signing, good players that we drafted, but it's really really great money, and then the contracts, and then the cap gets down the line, and then we get in trouble like we do every year, and then we have to make all these restructures, and it's kind of the same thing always, the same always cycle that the Cowboys kind of go through.
All right. Speaking of restructuring, let's talk about the restructurements. A couple of them. Let's go through them. Restructuring of CD Lamb's contract saved you $20 million in cap space. Another restructurement where it was, let me see, Dak Prescott's contract was restructured, opened up $36 million in cap space per source. So that's $56 million created in cap space with the CD Lamb move. So your two star players restructured their deal, also creating
And that,
basically
yeah, yeah, that can
Dak. But is that? But here's the thing, Caleb. Are they restructuring that deal for a specific person? And you know what person I'm talking about?
yeah.
Is it for?
Well, I mean, you would think, maybe, hey, well, maybe we do something in free agency, because we got a lot of turnover this coming up off season.
Mhm.
But yeah, according to Jerry, that's not the case, and I just don't understand his thinking. He's pretty goddamn delusional if he thinks we can't fill, we don't have a lot of needs to fill in free agency. I don't know what the hell he's looking at. We definitely have a lot of holes. We don't barely have any linebackers. We have a hurt corner. What are you talking about? We have like
Hurt corners.
Zach Martin just retired. So
Hey,
what
hey,
the hell are
man!
you talking
Don't jump
about?
the gun. Don't jump the gun, man. Let me transition to the Zach Martin thing in a
No,
bit.
no, no. Well, I'm just saying the fact that he doesn't think we have holes to fill in free agency is just completely delusional. Um,
Well, he is a delusional man. Like you know, it's not like
um,
we haven't known this for years.
but yes, I think a lot of these moves is him saying that obviously, yeah, they're making space so they can sign Micah Parsons to a huge contract.
To the biggest defensive contract of all time, basically.
Probably. I mean, but according to Michael Parsons, he's willing to not to give up some money. At least that's
Yeah,
what he
and
said.
I'm willing to give up tacos for, you know, Beyonce, but that ain't gonna happen. You know what I mean?
I don't even know how that even makes
I
sense
don't
at
know. It
all.
made no sense. It
That
made no sense. It made no sense whatsoever. He's lying. He's lying. I don't believe anything that comes out of that man's mouth talking about I'm gonna take a pay cut. Who the hell says that?
he does.
Well, you know what? Jalen Brunson did take a pay cut to stay with the Knicks. So maybe. So that may be true. Shout out to
And
you, Jose. How you doing, Jose? The Jose
that's why I would say like
Jose the LeBron James of YouTube.
if he had in his contract, if the money that I save you, that you're gonna pay someone else, with
But
this
do
money,
you
with this exact
trust
money.
them? But you
No,
do
that's
you
why I
trust them
said
to,
if it was in his contract that you had to do this with this money that
or
I'm
you have to give
saving you,
or you have to give me back that money?
or yeah, exactly.
Well, well, okay,
I
you know
don't
he
know if
should do
that's
that.
possible to do in your contract,
Well,
but
you can dude, you can put anything in a contract.
if that was possible to put in your contract that you have to use this money on a player that's going to help this team, then okay, I could see you taking less money.
Yeah, okay. If he has guarantees in his contract that guarantee that, then yes, you go out there and you go get people, but you need the guarantees. Like you need the guarantees. The problem is you can't trust these people.
Yeah,
You can't
exactly.
trust them. You know what I mean? They'll lie to your face. You know, you act like Jerry's has never lied to a player before. Has he? Has he
Probably.
done it?
I mean, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, exactly. It's a rhetorical question, Caleb. So he probably has. Everyone has lied to a player. Every GM has lied to a player. Technically, the Cowboys don't have a GM because the GM is Jerry, but we all know the GM is really Will McClay and his son. Jerry just does the big decisions, but they do the other decisions. So the Michael Parsons contract is going to be a Jerry negotiation. It's going to be a Jerry negotiation.
Yeah,
Will and Steven will be there, maybe, but it's a Jerry negotiation. Like most QB contracts are owner negotiations. Like a GM isn't talking to the QB because it's just not happening. That's why I think I generally think Joe Shane didn't give Daniel Jones that contract because you can't tell me you played hardball with Saquon, but then you let Daniel Jones win the negotiation. You know what I mean? Unless that means you're a shitty GM. Like that means you're a horrible GM. I don't think Joe's horrible. I just don't think he's that good.
He's pretty horrible.
No, there's horrible, that there's bad. You know what I mean?
Saquon Barkley for Daniel Jones.
That's horrible.
I mean, I just don't know how you get more horrible.
But I think that was a John Mara push. Keep them. You know what I mean? And I think he said we can, survive, Saquon leaving if we give, I don't know. I don't want to talk about it before.
No, you threatened to quit at that point. You threatened to quit. You say no.
Exactly.
I quit if we do this.
But that's the thing. Here's the thing, Caleb. I would do that. But I guarantee you these dudes don't have minerals to do that because they want to keep this job. They're like, because I'm the GM of the Giants, and they think it's, I'm the GM.
But you're gonna get fired anyways. So
exactly. Like that's what I'm saying. Bro, like, no, I am not giving this man 160 million. That's not happening. Just do what you're okay, Caleb. I keep bringing this up all the time. I know it's technically still the Cowboys segment. I do this all the time where I say this: do what your boss did in Buffalo. Your boss brought in Tyrod Taylor, Brandon Beane, brought him in, and they go to the playoffs with Tyrod Taylor. And your boss does what, Caleb? He lets him go. He fired. He's like, all right, have a nice day. I'm not re-signing you. Your boss did that. Why couldn't you do that so your boss told the owner, I'm letting him go, and they did it. So you don't have the minerals to go up to John Mara and say, I don't want this dude. We need to go. We need to leave. But you didn't? That's what happened. I also have a theory on why they started Tommy DeVito the second year too. Because I think Brian Daboll and Joe Shane generally thought Tommy DeVito sucked. And they're like, we're going to lose these games against the Packers and the Commanders because that dude sucks. And guess what? He messed around and he won those games. And Tommy DeVito, I don't like you. All right, it's just not happening. All right, but also too, we do have massive news coming out of Dallas. 2 massive retirements involving Dallas. The more important retirement, we'll talk about it right now. Jimmy Johnson is retiring from Fox. All right, he's been at Fox for over 20 years. The old ball coach is done. Well, they don't call him the old ball coach. My bad. I don't even know why I even said that. No, the man who kept the University of Miami dynasty going after Howard Schnellenberger, and then he was poached by his Arkansas teammate, former offensive lineman as well, Jerry Jones, to be the head coach of the newly acquired Dallas Cowboys for Jerry, because he's like, I believe in Jimmy. And you know what? Jimmy Johnson, baby. The famous, wait for it, brought you this.
We'll say one thing right now. How about them Cowboys?
The famous iconic phrase created by one and only Jimmy Johnson, a man whose hair never felt out of place, was always perfect to the 10. And Miami humidity and Dallas summers, that hair stayed right there. Jimmy, I hate your guts. Just because you were the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. But as a football historian and a lover of the history of football, thank you so much for what you've done on the broadcasting side and the coaching side. You made the big decision by telling Dallas, guess what? I'm going with Troy Aikman. That's my quarterback. Y'all were just 1-15, but you were like, that's my guy. And the one win was with Danny White.
No, it wasn't. It was
Steve Walsh. Sorry, Steve Walsh. I should have known that. Danny White was in the 80s. I apologize, Danny. Was with Steve Walsh. Dallas was like, we want Steve Walsh. And he told Dallas, hell no. We're going with Troy Aikman. 2 championships later, even though the third is also yours, we all know it's yours. 2.5 championships. I'll give you 2.5. 2 championships later, a train heist afterwards, and a Hall of Fame induction. Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you for all you've done. Caleb, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I mean, when I first started watching football, he was right there on the television because obviously the Cowboys play on Fox. They've always played on Fox. They're an NFC team, and they're mostly the game of the week, and so they always have. So I always tune into Fox every single Sunday during the football season because that's the next game is is going to be the Cowboys game. So I will always watch. That was that's my go-to pregame show is watching Jimmy Johnson on there since I started watching football. So I've never known a season without watching Jimmy Johnson on there my entire life. So yeah, it's going to be different not seeing him there. And he's been great. He was my favorite on there. Not just because he's a cowboy, he was the Cowboys coach. Just 'cause I like listening to him, what he had to say. I mean, a lot of coaches go to him for advice of, how they should approach the game. Bill Belichick was a big, one of those guys. I went to him for his knowledge about the game. So I think he explained that every time he was on TV extremely well. And yeah, I think he did a great job in there. You know, sad to see him go.
Yep. All right. Other retirement in the Dallas Cowboy world is one of the greatest guards in NFL history. Let's call it quits. Zach Martin, the lights have shut off in the bright state of Texas for big old number 70. You were a menace. You were a pain in my side for years. I hated every single moment of you. You're a cowboy and an Irishman. So double hatred. Golden Domer of annoyance. Dallas Star of just hatred. But you were nothing else but pristine, a gentleman. And when you didn't want to be a gentleman, you saw it on the field when you destroyed people. A guard lineage in Dallas. Nate Newton, Larry Allen. Add Zach Martin to that list as well. Caleb, you have the floor.
Yeah, obviously he's the first ballot Hall of Famer, one of the greatest Dallas. He was a Dallas Cowboy. When you think of a Dallas Cowboy, I mean, he was it. I mean, he's a picture perfect version of what Dallas Cowboy is. And he was great for as moment when he came into the NFL. He was awesome. I mean, he was just great. I mean, we ran for. He led DeMarco Murray to the most yards in Cowboys history for that one season that they had in 2014 as a rookie. Um, and he played all the way throughout his career. Never, he had more. What was the stat that he had? That he had less holding penalties than um, what, what was it? What was the stat again? I forgot. Yeah, very low amount of holding
I
penalties.
think it was he had more all-pro
Yeah,
selections
all pro selections than holding
than
penalties.
holding penalties.
Yeah.
Which I believe. I don't believe. I believe he's probably gotten away with a little bit of holding, but it's
Well,
it's
that's
just
your
me.
hate.
I am a hater. I admitted it
Yeah.
in my soliloquy about him.
But yeah, I mean, he was the final piece to that trio of great offensive linemen that we had with Tyron, Travis Frederick, and Zach Martin. Um, and it led us to having Mark Murray lead the NFL in rushing, Zeke lead the NFL rushing twice. Um, and even in 2015 when we didn't have a running back, he even had Darren McFadden have a comeback season and ran for over 1,000 yards. That shows you how good he was, um, and what a great offensive line can do for you. Um, but yeah, I mean it was great watching him play throughout these years, and he just wasn't the same this past season. He got hurt, which is the first time he's got hurt for like that extended amount of time in his career. And because he's always been the guy who started every single game. He wasn't really like Tyron Smith, where he was getting hurt constantly. He was the guy that was very always there, always playing until this past season, where he just wasn't the same. And And I think that very much factored into why he retired, because he just couldn't play the same.
All right. Perfect, man. Hey, man. The biggest question great players have to ask themselves: is it over? You know, can I still be Zach Martin? And he said to himself this offseason, no, I can't be. I'm done. And he walked away. So good riddance, Zach Martin. Respectfully. Also good riddance. Jason Peters finally retired. Thank God. 15 years of annoying the shit out of me. I mean, 10 really. Wait, is it? Yeah, 15. Yeah. His entire career, basically. You know, because I started watching football in 07. So Jason Peters' entire career, I've hated that man. He finally said, I'm done. So good.
One-time Cowboy.
Yeah, one-time Cowboy. One-time Titan? Was he a Titan? I think.
I don't know where he was last year.
No, I don't know. It doesn't matter.
He was on the Bears.
Was he on the Bears? It doesn't matter. Who cares about Jason Peters? All right, let's move on. All right, guys. Let's talk about the New York Giants real quick. No big news really coming out of New York. The biggest move they made was re-signing Casey Kreider, their long snapper.
No, that wasn't the biggest news.
Yeah, it was.
It was not the biggest news.
Tommy DeVito, is that what we
want to talk about? Tommy DeVito was the biggest news. Tommy Cutlets was the biggest news.
I hate you so much. But yeah, so they also re-signed Tommy DeVito. But the big QB question, right, coming out of the New York Giants is their pursuit of Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is still under contract with the Jets, so they need to trade for him because the Jets can't cut him, because if they cut him, I think they'll have $40 million in dead cap money or something like that. I don't know.
They did cut him.
No, they cut Devontae Adams. They cut Devontae Adams.
They have to trade him?
They want to trade him. They don't,
There's no way you can. They have to release him.
Hold up, time out. I think they have to trade him. Aaron Rodgers.
Who's going to trade for him?
I'm telling the New York Giants. That's what I'm trying to tell you. All right.
But why would you trade for him? Why wouldn't you just make them release him?
That's what I'm saying. So right here, 3 weeks ago, they want to split with him. The Giant, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, is Joe Schoen a good GM? Should he just wait for them to cut him? It's like, I'm just gonna wait.
Yeah.
Or do you trade for him? Someone said nobody should outbid the Giants for Aaron Rodgers. When you're bidding against no one, you shouldn't be bidding a lot. You shouldn't be. They're seriously considering him. Contract talks are beginning with him. Art Stapleton, Giants beat reporter, he said that it's a high possibility he becomes a New York Giant. They are pretty significantly down the road. So the talks have gone to probably final stages. If Aaron Rodgers, this was Stapleton said on Pat McAfee. If Aaron Rodgers ends up a Giant before the start of the league year, it would not be a shock. My understanding is, yes, they have talked about it. They have talked about what it would take to get Aaron with the Giants. My understanding is that every turn, the Giants have yet to be scared off. I think for a football fit, it's something that they seriously should consider. Aaron Rodgers technically is still a member of the Jets. He has been informed of his impending release that permits agents to speak with potential suitors. So yeah, they can wait for the release. They can wait for the release. Weeks removed from the report that the Giants have little interest in Aaron, now they appear to be the main player. I don't know how much Aaron can be involved with speaking to the Giants brass, Brian and Joe, but as far as Aaron's representatives, once the Jets have made it clear that my understanding is that he can have representatives talk to other teams. The cost for Rodgers, whatever it is, the Giants remain undeterred. So they just wait for him to get cut. And all I'll say is this. You know how I know we may get Aaron Rodgers? Let me tell you how we may get Aaron Rodgers.
Because you don't like Jackson Dart?
Well, we also should still draft a QB, in my opinion. In my opinion, we should still draft a QB. But having Aaron Rodgers doesn't make us seem desperate. So the Titans can't feed on our desperation. How quickly Davante Adams gets signed in when the free agency starts tells me all you need to know, because Aaron and Davante want to play together. So Davante just got cut, and he hasn't been signed yet. So he's waiting for Aaron on who Aaron's playing for. Basically,
Aaron won't have to move. I think that plays a factor.
Yeah, Aaron won't have to move, and 2, he wants Davante, so Davante's probably waiting. So it's quickly Davante gets signed up. He hasn't been signed up yet, but just watch Davante Adams. If he gets signed up quickly, the Giants are not getting Aaron Rodgers. But if he's waiting for the Giants deal to happen, watch how slowly Davante Adams is signed. Just watch it. Just watch. But that's literally the big story. We should still trade for the number 1 pick. We should get Cam Ward. You put Cam Ward behind Aaron Rodgers for a year or 2. You have Malik Neighbors and Davante Adams in the same room. You absorb knowledge. We talk about how Aaron Rodgers is from the outside in, because we hear all these stories. But only one teammate has talked bad about him. And that's Greg Jennings. So the teammates may love him.
No, it was the tight end too.
Jermichael Finley?
Yeah.
Him and Jermichael. Two teammates didn't like you. Not every teammate's going to like you. So if most teammates don't hate you, you've done a good job with your teammates. 2 of them don't like you. It's a numbers game. 2 out of how many teammates he's had? Probably over 400, because there's 53 people on a roster. He's played in the NFL for 12 years, 15 years? You know what I mean? So that's a lot of people. But only 2 of them have said, I don't like the guy. You know what I mean? So numbers wise, it is right here. The family stuff, that's family stuff. I don't care. Your family dynamic is your family dynamic. I don't know what's going on with that. So there's that. But yeah. And he said, I'm not going to do what Brett Favre did to me. He actually mentored Jordan Love, and then he left. So he may do the same thing to Cam Ward. And it's looking like Tennessee wants Abdul Carter, because they released Harold Landry today. Abdul Carter then tweets out something about, some vague tweet about Nashville or something. I don't know what his tweet was. Let me check his tweet.
But they can't seriously be going out there with Will Levis for another season.
But first year GM, he's trying to compile a team, and then he's looking for the 27 QB class. Like the 27 QB class, the 2027 QB class, if the projections are met, the 2027 QB class, if the projections are met.
You're going to get fired before that.
Unless you tell them the plan and you convince your owner to not do it.
And you convince the fans that you're going to suck for 2 years.
It's pretty easy. You just tell them we suck for 2 years.
Well, then they're going to buy tickets.
Then you tell them that's the plan. They want to know a plan. Abdul Carter, he smiled and put the number 1 up. So he's probably referring to, I'm the number 1 pick, because that's what's happening. Either they trick, because it happens. It just be. So the Giants can do that. And here's a rumor was that Tennessee is really insisting on the 26th first round pick. And if I'm the Giants, you walk away. Like, no. We're going 3-1. I'm not giving you a first round pick next year. It's not like, what I mean? It's like, let's act here. I'm going to give you the 3 plus a 3rd and a 2nd. Probably the 34th overall in the second. So you may have to part away with that, but that's what I would do. But that's pretty much all the news about the New York Giants. There is other news, but a more souring news is they may be releasing Bobby Okereke, which would be a dumb decision to do. First year with Bobby Okereke, he plays every snap. He plays phenomenally. He fits. But the thing is, Caleb, you drafted Tay Banks and you signed Bobby Okereke to fit Wink Martindale's scheme. He fit the scheme. He played well. He was great his first year. You have a new defensive coordinator. He doesn't play as good. He's playing out of scheme. And you blame Bobby Okereke because you hired a defensive coordinator who was your fifth option. Because you wanted Denard Wilson. But Denard Wilson decided to go to Tennessee. Denard Wilson, the former DB coach in Baltimore. Baltimore lost pretty much all their position coaches after Mike McDonald left because Anthony Weaver went to become the defensive coordinator in Miami. Denard Wilson went to be the defensive coordinator in Tennessee. They then hired Zach Orr to be their defensive coordinator. He was their linebackers coach. Weaver was their defensive line coach. And Denard Wilson was their DB coach. So they all became defensive coordinators while Mike McDonald became the head coach in Seattle. You couldn't get your first option. So instead of hiring someone familiar with the players in the scheme like Jerome Henderson or Anthony is it our defensive coordinator Patterson? Our defensive coordinator Patterson, Andre Patterson, where you could have hired them to keep the scheme right and the players, right. You decided to get some guy from outside the organization who doesn't change his scheme to fit his players. And you then say Bobby Okereke isn't good enough. Also, to Caleb, on top of that, Caleb, he was playing through a foot fracture.
Yeah.
So he's playing through a foot fracture. He doesn't fit the scheme you just had. And you have the audacity to say we may cut him because we don't think he's good enough. That means you are bad at your job and you need to be fired. And the problem is I can't fire the owner. I just have to deal with him. So Joe Shane needs to be fired.
Yeah.
And Brian Daboll needs to be fired as well if this happens as well. Because if you don't have the minerals, you don't deserve to be GM. You have to stand up to your owner on occasion. You think Les Snead just lets Stan Kroenke run roughshod on him? You hired me to do a job. Let me do my job. Let me do my job. That's the news of the New York Giants. That's the news. There's nothing else. More important news. More important. Elimination Chamber. All right. We are in our WWE corner, man. Thank you guys for sticking with us. We're going to be talking about something we actually love a little bit more on here. Elimination Chamber. Caleb, your thoughts overall on the Chamber as the event. Then we'll get down to the really juicy moment. Overall in the event, did you like it?
Oh, I loved it. I thought it was a great PLE.
Okay.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
Pay-per-view. What the fuck you keep saying PLE for? I hate people, man.
That's what they call it. They call it a PLE.
All right.
One-time live event.
Yeah, okay.
You don't actually pay for it. Well, I mean,
that's true. And you do pay for it.
You pay for the subscription, but you're not paying like how much was it? It used to cost like $30-$40 for the pay-per-views.
Before WWE Network or with WWE Network?
Before WWE, when you actually had to pay
like
for the pay-per-views.
Like $50, $40-$50.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember
I was pay-per-view because that cost some money.
I paid for WrestleMania a couple times.
So did I.
Yeah, we had.
I remember I had to call the.
Yeah. We didn't. Yeah, we had to call. We had to call Dish.
We had to call DirecTV. And, hey, I want WrestleMania.
Yeah. We bought WrestleMania 2 days beforehand, and we kept going back to the channel and be like, "Event's not here yet. Event's not here yet." And then we watched,
exactly.
Yeah, event's not here yet. Which WrestleManias did you pay for?
Probably the first one back when I first got back into wrestling, like back in 07, 08.
Yeah.
I think my first WrestleMania I actually watched because I didn't watch any because I was a WCW guy, so I don't think I ever.
Oh, you were a loser. I got you.
Wow. Okay.
I'm kidding. Continue.
No. But so I never actually watched WrestleMania until I was in high school.
Oh, you're a Starrcade guy? Welcome to Starrcade.
Well, I mean, I don't think I watched any of the pay-per-views in WCW either.
That's WCW's WrestleMania.
I know, but I never actually watched any of the pay-per-views.
Okay, all right.
I mean, I was like 5-6 years old. I'm not going to sit there.
Halloween Havoc?
I didn't have money. I was a 5-6 year old kid.
Leo, you never bought Caleb Halloween Havoc? Come on, man.
No. So I never watched Wrestling Tales in high school.
Did you see they announced Lex Luger to be in the WWE Hall of Fame? Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yeah, we just saw that.
Great.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's that the Undertaker Shawn Michaels one was my first one I saw.
WrestleMania 2025, the 25th anniversary.
I guess so. Yeah, I think that was.
Yo, Caleb, that was the second one I ever watched.
Yeah.
So I think I bought the one. I think we bought the one. No. The first one I ever watched. I remember the first one. It was the damn it. What was it? It was Batista and Cena's coronations. It was in WrestleMania in LA, where Batista and John Cena win their world titles. I watched that one, and then I watched.
It might have been actually. It might have been the one where Shawn Michaels retired Ric Flair, because I do remember that one clearly.
That one I didn't watch. That one I didn't watch because there were a couple years where we're like, we're not buying that shit. I was like, oh man, you know what I mean? And then when my dad and my older brother said we're not buying that, you can't really change their mind.
Yeah, I would buy Royal Rumble in WrestleMania.
Yeah, I never watched Royal Rumble ever. I never watched it until I got WWE Network. I had never bought a Royal Rumble ever. I would just see the clips. You know what I mean? I would see the clips.
Yeah, because I remember that because it used to come on during the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
At the same time, because it used to be on Sundays.
Okay, so and then I remember watching the one where it was John Cena and Shawn Michaels in the main event, and it was The Undertaker and Batista. It was that one. I watched that one as well. I think that was WrestleMania 23 or 24, I think. And then I watched that one where it was Taker, Shawn, Randy, Triple H. I remember watching those as well. I think I watched, and then I watched the one where it was Donald Trump versus Vince McMahon, Bobby Lashley versus Umaga.
Yeah, I saw that one. I
saw that one as well. So I remember watching the mid 21s from 21 to 25. I think I watched them.
Mm-hmm. I think I stopped. I watched it for a few years, and then I stopped in 2011, 2012.
Yeah, I didn't watch the Shawn Michaels one. I didn't watch that one. That one was nice. Even though Ric Flair then decided to wrestle for 5 more years, which I watched TNA. I watched TNA growing up as well. So I saw Ric Flair.
That was just sad.
Yeah, it was really sad. Him and Mick Foley should have stopped wrestling by then. Yeah. That's why Mick Foley can't walk anymore, which that's why I never wanted to be a wrestler, because my default mechanism was just wrestle like Mick Foley, because that's my favorite wrestler, one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. So I'm just going to throw myself into a trash can right now. throw me into a pile of tacks, God damn it. You know what I mean? And then one day I'm 65 and I can't walk and I got 2 knee replacements and I have no shoulder, and you're like, Papa, what did you do for work? Let me tell you, son. I entertained millions and millions by throwing myself into flaming tables. Yeah. But yeah, man. So let's go. Wait.
Back to the PLE.
Yeah, back to the PLE. They were in Toronto.
Yeah.
It was hot. It was heavy. You want to break down match members?
We can eliminate the women's elimination chamber.
That was great. I liked it.
Great. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. Yo, okay. Okay. You thought Jade was gonna beat up Viv for a minute? I thought she was gonna beat her up for a minute.
Who?
Jade. Jade, Liv. She was gonna beat up Liv.
Oh no, I never thought she was gonna beat up Liv. I always thought it was gonna be a fake out. I never thought they did it. Never once thought they did it. Always thought it was either
Naomi or Bianca.
Or Naomi.
Had to be.
Yeah, I mean, they wouldn't be a storyline if it was just Liv and Raquel beat her up.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, it just wouldn't be a storyline. So yeah, it was always one of them, and I don't even necessarily think maybe we still don't know if it was exactly Naomi. It still could have been Bianca telling Naomi to do that.
Yeah.
Yes. So it could be both of them. So yeah, the way it started, he got her out, eliminated real quick. And then the rest of it was really good match. Just the hair whip, like, I can't believe how hard she would live with that with her hair, because she left a damn mark on her body. I was like, God damn.
Oh yeah, yo, the whip. Whoosh.
Yeah, that's why I thought Liv did great. I thought she was really really great in that match.
Mhm. Yeah,
Um,
she's really really improved. I honestly, man, I'm gonna be real with you with Liv Morgan. I thought she was gonna be a failure.
I mean, yeah, I mean she didn't. I
I
mean,
I remember watching her in the Riot Squad. So the Riot Squad debuted together. It was her, Ruby Riot, and Sarah Logan. And I'm just like, who are these random nobodies, bro? What is this? And they were just kind of mid card people. They were like, oh yeah, I kind of like them. They're cool, but like I'm not really invested. And then when they broke them up, I was like, okay, so which one of these three is gonna make it? I thought none of them were gonna make it. Like WWE's not gonna have anything for these people. And I thought like if someone is gonna make it, it's gonna be the blonde girl because Vince McMahon has a thing for blonde girls. So like the Liv Morgan will probably have like a good run, but then probably Vince is gonna get bored of her. And then she flourished under Triple H.
she did. I mean, they gave
Yeah.
her good storylines.
Mm-hmm.
Made her a great heel. And
Mm-hmm.
then, yeah, she's really taken off since then.
Her match with Ronda Rousey, everyone was like, "Okay, I see you, Liv. All right, all right."
Yeah,
So yeah, man. Shout
yeah,
out to Liv
and then
Morgan,
and
man.
just get her in the ring. Like, this last
Mm-hmm.
PLE really showed how good she was. And now we all know how good Bianca is.
Time
Um,
out, time out, time out, time out. What you trying to say, man? I hope both of you can find some talent. What do you mean? Like we're not talent? We talented. We talented. You know what I mean? I'm a talented brother, right? I got some talent. You know what I mean? Unless you're talking about some other talent, then I hope so
maybe
too.
he's talking about that. And
Yeah, then I hope so too as well.
yeah, well, that's
We should,
all. Yeah, I mean, yeah,
we should learn how to wrestle and go to the performance center. We definitely find some talent.
exactly.
You definitely will.
But yeah, so great match. The teams.
Oh, okay. He's talking about the Cowboys and Giants.
Yeah, well, screw you.
Nah, man. Okay. We're trying to. All right, whatever. Continue.
The next match wasn't that great.
So Bianca winning is cool. You cool with that?
Yeah, because I mean, she's the biggest star.
Yeah, she is.
Who else are you gonna have in that match?
I can't wait till she turns heel because that's gonna be seismic. Because she's been
I think she is. I think that's what they're
I
saying.
honestly I think Adelia's correct here, right? Where she says, I think it would be more interesting if Bianca told Naomi to do it and goes,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's
I agree.
because
Because
you're gonna have
Caleb,
three faces. You're gonna have Rhea or Io now, and Bianca as all
because
face. Like that's just not. Usually, it doesn't work out great
yeah,
that
yeah.
way.
Face on face really doesn't work.
They always want heel versus face.
And the Street Profits, they're getting a little mean, getting a little nasty, those Street
I know
Profits. So
exactly.
one of the Street,
So
Montez.
yeah. I think that was
Oh yeah.
honestly, it was either her or Liv were the only logical choices. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
'cause either the rivalry with Rhea or the stardom with Bianca was just kind of there.
Mm-hmm.
The next match wasn't very good. I mean,
Are we talking about the tag team match?
yeah, it was whatever. I mean, it was just so Trish Stratus can wrestle in front of her kids, I guess. Otherwise,
Yeah.
there was nothing to it. I mean, barely a storyline going into it. Really, it was just a big nothing burger.
Yeah, it was pretty much just a showcase for Trish Stratus
In
being from
Canada.
Canada.
We're in Canada.
Yeah, and like they're basically every blonde girl is gonna be connected with Trish Stratus to the end of time in WWE. It's just gonna happen, and Tiffany, Trish,
Yeah,
both,
you could have even made it better by even bringing Charlotte Flair at least to watch the match.
Mm-hmm.
You could even do that.
You could
So
have done that. Yeah, it was kind of honestly, it is. Some people would say it was the bathroom match. It's kind of disrespectful to say because they're out there trying their hardest to entertain us, but they're in the crowd, the people will be, oh, this is the bathroom match. Let's go to the bathroom or let's go get some food. And this probably was it because the other matches, two dudes they tried to kill each other.
Sami Zayn, great match.
You know what, man? I love them. I love because here's the thing, Caleb. That only happens with two people in pro wrestling. Either you do it with your bestest friend because you allow each other to say the things you say, right? And you do the things you do to each other, like smacking each other with barbed wire. You're friends because he's my friend. He's basically like my brother, and we're gonna, after this, we're gonna go get a drink, you need some food, and then chill out. Or you do it with your mortal enemy who doesn't care what you think and is still gonna do the stuff to you. And I don't think him and Sami are a mortal enemy. So like they got to be the closest of closest, man. It's insane, you know. You know him talking about how he's gonna cripple him so he can't make food for his and money for his family. Yo, what? That's crazy. And you know what? I don't care how many times they do the storyline. I'm always gonna come back
Yeah, I mean
because they're
they
good.
fantastic chemistry in the ring.
Mhm.
They did some really brutal things with the tables and all that was really great. Um, I did find they didn't show blood, but I saw the reason why they didn't bleed. Because Sammy was doing Ramadan, and it would have been bad for him if he bled out, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I understand why that. I think that was the only missing
Well,
part
Kevin
to it.
Owens could have
He could
bladed
have,
because he got hit with the barbarian in the face.
yeah, in the face.
They
Yeah, he
could have
probably could
cut
have
Kevin
bled
Owens.
there,
Yeah,
but
Sammy,
and
the
then
Ramadan with Sammy, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, but yeah, and
and
they
then
also kind of let someone else bleed later on in the night.
yeah, and then so then you
Talk about
bring
that.
Randy Orton back out, and obviously it sets up the match between Kevin Owens and Randy Orton at WrestleMania. So
Shout out
that
to Randy.
yeah, that'll be a good match to watch.
Well, look at Randy Orton, man. What an evolution that man had. You know, what I mean, shout out to him. You know, now he's, you know, I miss his Viper days. You know, when he became like he purposely
It
like
was
got,
yeah, it was really great. I mean, that whole going to someone's house and uh,
yeah,
and beating them up, like he started that. Like what was it? Triple H's house?
yeah. It should be no Triple H attacked him at his house.
Oh, at his house, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and threw him through the
Threw him
window.
out the window.
Yeah, yeah. I remember that because people don't understand like how because Randy third generation superstar, so it's all about psychology, right? When you look at the Viper era of Randy Orton, right? What do you think of, right? Shaved head, he's kind of skinny, kind of snake like the way he's skinny. A lot of baby oil, so he's shiny, and that's a petrifying thing to see because that man tried to kill John Cena every other week. Every other week he was trying to kill John Cena. And every other week, he's punching John Cena Sr. He kicked John Cena Sr. in the head. He beat up John Cena Sr. on the sideline. He kicked Vince McMahon in the head. He DDT'd Stephanie McMahon. I mean, the man didn't care. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? You know, and now he's
and
evolving.
they banned that. They banned the
They
punt.
banned the punt. You know, they
He
banned the
was trying to
punt.
he was trying to line him up for the punt. I wish they just
Yeah,
let him punt. They might do it at WrestleMania. Maybe they were saving it.
yeah, yeah. Because the punt. There are moves in WWE where you protect. Do you know no one's ever kicked out of the Razor's Edge?
Yeah.
So when Scott Hall threw you in the Razor's Edge, match is over. Match is over. No one ever kicked out of it. Same with the punt. I think only like 2 people have kicked out of the punt. The punt is protected because the punt is like the last resort where like I kicked your brain out of your head and you're done. You know what I mean? I think he kicked Triple H in the head once. You know what I mean? So it was awesome, man. Shout out to Randy. You know, he's no longer a weirdo, which is cool. You know what I mean? Because he did some weird stuff back in the day. But he's no longer a weirdo, which is good. Family man, blended family. He finally found love in Poughkeepsie, New York. Him and Kim. So that's good. Shout out to you, Randy. Growing up, really good. People have good things to say about Randy in the locker room, so that's good. But now we keep going. The men's elimination chamber.
Yeah. Another great elimination chamber. Just the drama in between, just that they build up with each elimination. I thought was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, obviously it's setting up different rivalries you can go
Mm-hmm.
forward with. Um, and obviously in the end, it just built up the hatred between what we saw in the next Monday Night Raw with Seth Rollins and CM Punk. Him being the reason why CM Punk got eliminated by coming back in and stomping him, and so John Cena get the win. So I think it built up a lot of future storylines, and was just a great match overall. Um, and then obviously because those were my 2 picks, but I really didn't know who was going to win it. Because I could see either one of those, either CM Punk or John Cena winning it. So yeah, it really led you for the drama, and and not knowing what was going to happen. So I think they did that really, really well. And yeah, John Cena wins it. And, at first, I didn't like it, only because I don't like John Cena.
Oh,
I've never, I've never ever liked John Cena. I always thought he was a cornball. Um, just never liked his character, and the fact that he only does like the few moves that he does.
the 5
Um,
moves of doom.
yeah, it's always been even though that's not a total reason why I don't like him. Just always didn't like his character.
He had
But
no
now,
character. He was just John Cena.
yeah, but now I'm a little bit more on board after what happened.
Everybody is. Everybody's. By the way, breaking news coming out of the NFL. The Seattle Seahawks have traded Geno Smith to the Raiders for a 2025 third round pick. So the Raiders have their QB. So there's no news to interrupt your WWE segment. So there's
Yeah.
that. So boom, shakalaka, a QB dynamo has fallen. So we'll see about that. You know.
Well, maybe
Also
now
too.
the Giants can get Shedeur Sanders now.
Yeah, I guess so. But now the Seahawks are in the mood, are in the market for a QB. So what are the Seahawks going to do?
No.
So we'll see what they do.
They have,
But
who do they have? Who was their backup last year?
I have no idea.
Yeah,
They had Drew Lock
yeah, they had him
2 years ago. Hey, Drew Lock may go back to Seattle.
I don't think they want that.
No, I think they're tanking because they got rid of Geno.
Who did they have? Did they have Zach Wilson?
No, Zach was in Denver.
Denver. Okay, so who the hell did they have?
Let's check.
Oh, they had what's his name? Sam Howell.
Yeah, they had Sam Howell. You're right. Yeah, but yeah, man, let's keep it moving. Man, John Cena wins, and
The moment.
Cody Rhodes comes out.
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes comes out, and then after that, The Rock finally comes out after 175 years.
Well, yes, it has to play it out. It has to be.
He's The Rock. Come on,
I
Jake.
know.
Adelia, man.
You just have to take him in.
You got to take in The Rock.
Yeah.
Drink it in, man. Drink it in, man. Shout out to Chris Jericho. Well, actually, not shout out to Chris Jericho. He's a little bit of a weirdo. So for weeks, The Rock kept asking Cody Rhodes, man, I want your soul.
Yeah, and it was very weird how he did it. I did not like the first original segment where he did it.
Like where he grabs his face.
Yeah, it was really weird, and
we'll talk about that in a bit, Adelia.
It was just, I don't think it was executed. I understood the storyline, be my corporate champion.
Yeah.
I understood what they were going for. I just don't think they executed it well.
Yeah. But it doesn't matter. The way they ended it very well.
Yes.
So Travis, so The Rock with his tag team partner, Travis Scott, walked down the ring. Travis Scott, WWE's changed because Travis Scott, by the way, was smoking weed in the ring, unopposed. No one cared. He asked Cody, what's your answer? Tell me what your answer is. And Cody vibrantly said, Rock, go fuck yourself. You know?
I was shocked. They didn't bleep it at all. You could hear him say it. And it was very
on Peacock too, man. It's not on Netflix. It's on Peacock.
Yeah.
Peacock, they be blurring stuff out.
Yeah,
and
he just came out and said it. It was like, damn.
And then in the back, you see John Cena jumping up and down, so like, yeah, not knowing what was about to happen.
Yeah,
not knowing what was about to happen. And then he turns to John Cena. He says, "Yeah, John. And then the hug happens. And then what happened, Caleb?
Turned heel.
He turned heel. The Rock gave him the signal. The Rock gave him the signal. And then guess what? Bam. Kicked him right in the nuts. Right in the nuts. And they just proceed to beat the living snot out of Cody Rhodes.
What was his dad's watch?
No, it was the watch that was gifted to him after he won the title by WWE. So So technically, that's the weapon that made him bleed. The gold watch. They bust up Cody Rhodes. John Cena's beating him down, hits him over the head with the helmet multiple times. Travis Scott actually punches Cody Rhodes in the face.
Yeah. Supposedly blew out his eardrum and
And gave him a black eye. So basically what happened to Becky Lynch at Survivor Series that one year, where Nia Jax breaks her nose and gives her a black eye, so she couldn't do Survivor Series. So Cody Rhodes has a couple months to heal up, but Cody Rhodes is still gonna wrestle regardless. You're talking about a man who wrestled
torn
with
pec,
like a black eye and a broken eye means nothing to him. A black eye and a bust eardrum, what's that? Homie, did you see my body? Did you see Hell in the Cell? You know what I mean? And we're also skipping the fact during the men's Elimination Chamber, Seth Rollins screws over CM Punk again.
I mentioned that.
Yeah, and you want to talk about a beef that will go on forever. Shout out to Seth Rollins, man. I've been a massive fan of Seth Rollins for years. I've been such a fan that I slander Will Ospreay on occasion because of their beef. It's funny. Get your money up, Will. Broke ass. But that's the joke. That's the joke Seth Rollins always made about him. But yeah, it's multi-layered. CM Punk is now upset. John Cena turning heel has sent ripple effects across WWE because the Guinness Book of World Records, Caleb, John Cena now holds the longest time ever before a heel turn. John Cena now holds it. John Cena has been a face for
his entire career.
No, Dr. Thugonomics.
He was a face.
Yeah. So 20 years. He has been a face for 20 years. Word life. You know what I mean? Because when did he debut though?
In 2002.
Was it 2?
As the prototype.
No, it was Ruthless Aggression.
Yeah, that was the prototype.
No, the prototype was the prototype was
Ruthless Aggression.
Yeah, no, but that was OVW when they it was the prototype. Yeah. What are you gonna bring me, John Cena? Ruthless Aggression. And he slaps Kurt Angle in the face. Sorry, man, I love pro wrestling to my heart. But yeah, man. Beat the living snot out of Cody Rhodes, man. Cody Rhodes, you want to shout out, man? Shout out to Cody Rhodes, man. That man knows how to be a babyface. You don't make John Cena turn heel unless they really believe in you or you believe in yourself and you convince them to do it. So he really believes himself. You know who I'm really sad for, Caleb?
Who's that?
R-Truth. His hero, man. His hero. Why does hero got to do him like that? R-Truth grew up loving John Cena. What R-Truth do now? And you know what, man? You know what I think they should do? They should have John Cena beat the living shit out of R-Truth.
That would be good.
That would be amazing, right? That would be like, or
they got to do that leading up to.
They got to do it. He has to just assault him and just beat him up in backstage and put him through like a catering table. You have to beat up R-Truth. It has to happen, John. And and R-Truth is gonna do it. He's beat me up. Or R-Truth snaps and becomes heel again and brings little Jimmy. You know what I mean? You remember when R-Truth was a heel and he was drinking people's drinks and smoking it on ringside? You remember that? That was awesome.
I don't remember him as a heel.
Yeah, he was a heel. He was a heel for about a year. It was him and The Miz, where R-Truth loses it, and he once grabbed somebody's drink in the crowd and drank it, and then threw it in their face in front of their son. He pulled out a cigarette and started smoking a cigarette at ringside, and as he's beating somebody up, he brought in little Jimmy, where he was going crazy, and he's like, me and little Jimmy gonna whoop your ass, and he was kind of a heel. Him and Miz locked themselves in a Hell in a Cell, and they beat up and then they got arrested. It's on WWE. I'll share the link. But yeah, man, WWE, man, they're on fire, bro. SmackDown is in Philly today. It's at 5:00. Philly sold out. Cody Rhodes is gonna make an announcement, man, and John Cena got to show up, right? Unless he's at his movie.
No, he's still filming.
Yeah, he's at his movie. So yeah, man. Or you could, Skype in and be like, "Hey, listen here, mother lover," from set. Because him and The Rock literally insulted each other for over a year and were never in the ring together. Because Rock was in Hollywood and John was there.
It's funny that he had actual.
It's now reversed.
He had actual beef with The Rock.
Yeah,
because he was too Hollywood. Because he left the company, he went to Hollywood, and he did all the things he's doing now.
You want to know something that made the beef worse? The Rock wrote some stuff on his forearm to like remember his promo.
Oh yeah, I remember when he called it out.
And John Cena pointed out, I was like, look like you need some you wrote some, and The Rock didn't appreciate it. Yeah, so they got Gorilla. They went back to Gorilla, and The Rock got in his face like, hey man, you ever do that shit again? And John was like, oh, make me, man. And they had to be separated. And there was actual heat. They actually didn't like each other. There was actual.
And now he joined him.
And now he joined him. Yes.
And now I can actually like John Cena a little bit.
Yeah. And the video, I think the face he made was a little funny. The face he made was a little funny, where he was like, like I've never been a heel. What do you want me to do? Just stand there, John. What are you doing? You know what I mean? And then The Rock just whips Cody Rhodes with his belt.
Yeah, it might have been better if he maybe like smirked a little bit, like have a smirk instead of just like a mad face.
Yeah, but he's probably also looking at the kids, so he's stink eyeing the kids, because apparently they've trademarked Break-A-Wish, because John Cena has the most Make-A-Wish. He's made the most wishes in Make-A-Wish history. So now Break-A-Wish, apparently, he shared videos of.
That's why they have to turn him heel before he retires. I mean, turn him back to the face before he retires.
Yeah, because the Make-A-Wish, they have to. They have to. I think he's going to be heel, and then there's going to be a redemption arc halfway through the year, and then he's going to be like, you know what, I want the IC title, because he's never won the Intercontinental title, by the way. And I had a couple homies tell me about so then he goes after the IC title, so there's that.
The way you think he loses it in SummerSlam?
Yeah, I think he beats Cody at WrestleMania.
Yeah, he has to get to 17.
Has to. And then he loses to Cody at SummerSlam, yeah. Then after that, a couple of weeks, and then Backlash happens, I think. No, Backlash is before.
Backlash is after WrestleMania.
Okay, so John Cena goes all the way to SummerSlam as a champion, loses to Cody, and then halfway after SummerSlam, he realizes, I can't believe I sold my soul and all my morals, and then he becomes face again, and then he wins the IC title. Has a good run, then drops it to Braun Breaker again, or somebody, or whatever.
Okay, who's his last match?
He has to.
Who do you think his last match is?
CM Punk.
You think his last match is
CM Punk? I think it's gonna be CM Punk.
This whole shaking of his hand, and you don't think that was enough?
Nah, I think it's gonna be him, because I really wanted Kurt Angle's
Randy Orton.
You know what? Scratch that. Should be Randy. Yeah, should be Randy. Randy should be the one to retire John Cena. Yeah, one last Randy John Cena feud. One last one. Has to, right? They're interconnected forever. They have probably one of the greatest feuds of all time, and it's because it's a modern feud. No one really talks about it. But Randy John was amazing, So yeah, Randy, yeah, Randy, yeah. So yeah, Randy, yeah. Because John Cena will match your, people said he'll match your freak, because if you know how to wrestle, he'll wrestle you, and if you suck at wrestling, he'll not elevate you, because you're like, you don't deserve to be here. You should be better, That's what made Roman Reigns better. John Cena called him out, saying like, bro, you're trash.
Because I still think he's trash, but
what? I like him. I'm a big fan of him. I just don't think he's doing enough.
But he's very similar to John Cena. I mean, he does his few moves and beats them up, and that's it.
Same personality, hasn't changed much.
That's what I'm saying. He's very Cena-like in this.
He's already done his heel turn. So the heel turn is not going to be shocking when Roman Reigns in 10 years. But you know, it was, man, I'm still a Seth Rollins guy, man. I love me some Seth Rollins, man. Seth Rollins, all he does is
I mean, it's very similar to what they're doing with Jay. I mean, they're kind of putting him down the same boat. I mean, he's very popular.
I think the bloodline storyline has lost. It's
Well, that's done. I'm just talking about Jay as a singles guy going after Gunther for the championship. It's kind of
Gunther's
I
cooking
know,
him.
but they're doing the same thing with Jay, where they're just putting him where he just does his few things because he's really popular. He yeets and he does his spear and he does his kick, and that's it.
His
And
spear sucks, by the way.
I know his spirit's terrible.
It's horrible.
But that's what I'm saying. He's doing the same Roman Reigns, John Cena thing.
Yeah. But there you have it, guys. Caleb and Ferris's WWE corner. See, I put your name first because it was your idea. Caleb and Ferris's WWE corner. We may keep doing it as the year goes along.
I mean, we will be at this year's WrestleMania.
Yeah. Yes, we will be. Maybe. Possibly.
What do you mean, maybe? We're going to put the tickets.
Yeah, that's true. So, but on that note, thank you guys so much for joining us. Have a wonderful day. We may still talk about UFL's coming up. Yeah. So the UFL is coming up. We may talk about it. I kind of, didn't give it a chance, but I'm going to give it a chance this year. See how it goes. Let's see if, how it operates. But thank you guys so much for joining us. Have a wonderful time. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to this video, comment. You should. You have no need to talk about football. Coming from the Ravens
fan. From a Ravens fan, that you guys are losers too.
Tony, all you do is shit on your team.
I've
seen all
you videos. Don't like your team, so why would you do a show?
You hate your team as well. You know what? And you hate them more because you have Lamar Jackson. I at least hate them and they suck, which is fine. You hate them knowing because they're wasting a generational quarterback. So there's a difference. But on that note, everyone, thank you guys so much for joining us. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.